Good evening. Thank you, ICESA organizers, for having me to present this paper. My name is Li Jun, and I'm from University of Newcastle, Singapore. Today, my topic is on Singapore 2030 Zero Waste Management Plan and whether is it achievable. In 2019, the Ministry of Environment set a bold direction to move Singapore into a zero waste nation. This is to help to achieve a sustainable, resource-efficient, and a climate-resilient Singapore. As you can see from the plan, it is to strengthen three resilience under climate, resources, and economic. And the government is taking the lead on three priority waste streams. But today, we will be only looking at food waste and packaging waste on plastic. From this chart, you can see that the total amount of plastic and food being disposed is actually quite high. But when it comes to recycle, it is actually quite low. And in the next few slides, we will actually look into why are the challenges in recycling plastic and food waste. There is also ambitious target set. There is first to extend Singapore-only landfill Sumakau lifespan beyond 2035. By 2030, we will hope to reduce the amount of waste sent to this landfill per day by 30% and to achieve a 70% overall recycling rate. So first, we just look at the Zero Waste Master Plan on the key elements. There are 4 targets being set. First is to increase the current domestic recycling rate from less than 10% to 30%. Next, we hope to adopt and change the nation's sustainability by using the circular economy approach that is to make, use, and recycle. Next is the implementation of the extended producer responsibility by 2021, starting from electronic waste, then to visibility of packaging waste. Lastly, there is to create a waste loop for plastic material to make it more sustainable by making it more reusable, easier to recycle, and extract value from the waste plastics. But are all these too ambitious? So what are the challenges? Now from this chart, you can see that the plastic and food that is being generated versus the total being recycled, the rate is very low. Do you see it more clearly? This is a color chart that you can see that the red color are the waste being disposed versus the blue color code that are being recycled. And you can see clearly that the recycling rate are definitely very, very low. Why is it so? Under the domestic recycling, the challenges are first, due to the convenience of throwing household rubbish just into the residential chutes are then very effectively transported to be incinerated. So there is a lack of public awareness on the environmental footprint of burning those wastes. Although the plastic waste can be sorted and recycled, there is a lack of awareness of the harm to human health and ecology from the plastic usage. So many people may not know by incinerating waste, it can actually generate harmful pollution and hazardous ash and also contribute to greenhouse gas emission. Lastly, there's tons of food waste, especially from hawker centers, restaurants, and hotels, are being thrown away instead of being reduced. And the overall recycling rate has actually decreased for major waste stream from 61% in 2018 to 59% in 2019. One of the reasons is probably due to the drop in recycling rate of the paper. So of course, the market of the recycled paper was now currently affected by shrinking export markets, and also the demand of printing paper has decreased due to increasing digitalization. And given that 34% of the Singapore recyclable are export, so the status of the external market and the policy of other countries towards recyclable will have a significant impact on our recycling rate. As you can see below, the domestic recycling rate has decreased from 22% to 17% in 2019. And for the non-domestic recycling rate, it has decreased from 75% to 73% in 2019. So, how can the plan be achievable? What can we do to reach the goal by 2030? First, it must really come from public involvement. Everything has to be ground up. That will of course comprise of multi-stakeholder initiative that goes beyond the government-sponsored programs. Where multi-stakeholder participation can include involvement of non-government organizations like the NGO, of course the public citizens from all the local heartlands and all levels of school, including polytechnics and university. Because I think for too long, the government is led by the public is actually led by the government resources recycling programs, which is clearly not sustainable. Next, we really have to increase the awareness on recycling. So educational programs conducted by NGO on recycling waste at school level. Programs have to be focused more on moving away from incineration and to understand the value of waste recovery and the serious impact of waste on both human and ecological damage. Waste collection has to be set up at community centers and it should be headed by public citizens. Increased dialogue between citizens, NGOs, and government can be on innovative ways, such as through Zoom, LinkedIn, or Facebook. So recently, there is a young lady who started to collect waste on our Singapore beaches. So she posted on Facebook, and soon after, she has many followers to be in this project with her to collect all the waste in the beach. So this is a very good initiative from the public, and it can be increased via virtual networks such as Facebook. Lastly, we need to transfer the research outcome on waste recycling from tertiary institutions to private companies to spin off new technology. This can include like increased funding from the government for entrepreneur startup in the area of waste recycling. Next, we also have to increase awareness on food-related waste. Singapore generally generates 763,000 tons of food waste per year. And the major challenge actually comes from mismatch in supplies and demand and inefficient inventory management. So ingredients can be not fully utilized. So maybe there's an over ordering of ingredients and it can be just thrown away. Or perhaps the food don't look good on visual. And people just throw away, especially in restaurants. And because Singapore weather is very hot, improper storage, especially on raw food, may cause the food to go bad and be thrown away. Hotels and hawker centers can apply the thermophilic digester technology, such as Biomax, to recycle the food waste. What this technology do is it helps to convert the waste into pathogen-free organic fertilizer that can be used for landscaping. But this have to be scaled up rapidly to impact 50 to 60% of such hotels and hawker centers so that we can achieve the double-digit recycling on food waste. Lastly, which is also very important, is there should be a massive behavior transformation in the public mindset on food waste. There should not be food hogging. There should not be over ordering of food, but there should be embracing internet technology to match access food in restaurants or supermarket to be used by needy families. Or household can be taught composting techniques on how to convert food scraps into compost for use of fertilizers. Lastly, there should be also awareness on plastic-related waste. Again, education is the key to influence the public to use less plastic and recycle plastic waste. Singapore had actually started this recycling plastic or reduced plastic waste, such as some fast food restaurants has actually stopped using straws shopping centers and grocery shopping has actually stopped giving up plastic bags and to promote use of recycled bags. So as Singapore is a very small country, it's true that even though we can eliminate plastic use, if let's say we can reduce all even to zero, the impact on the regional environment can be quite insignificant. But even though Singapore's actual environment footprint is small, based on its geographic size and population, but it can also have a big influence on ASEAN and Asia Pacific region, and this can be made significant. Because if a first world country is serious about recycling its plastic and food waste, it can also go a long way to impact the neighboring countries who are choking the surrounding environment and the seas with such waste. And I have come to the end of my presentation. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this time.